Good evening, everyone, and welcome. The time is 6:30 p.m. The regular meeting of the Mayor and Council for the Borough of Freehold for April 20th, 2026 is now called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours prior to commencement of this meeting pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 231 of the laws of 1975, the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the time, date, and location of this meeting has been provided by posting a copy of the public meeting dates on the municipal bulletin board, by sending a copy to the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger, and by filing a copy with the municipal clerk. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for a salute to the flag, followed by a moment of silence. Lieutenant Santan, please lead us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kane.
Here.
Councilman DeBenedetto.
Here.
Councilman Freeman.
Here.
Councilwoman Jordan. Here. Councilman Reich.
Here.
Councilwoman Rogers.
Here.
Councilwoman Schuster.
Yes, here.
Okay, again, welcome. It's great to have a packed house. But it is a school night. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the order around a little bit. We're going to go to item 5 first, the Freehold Borough Basketball League. I understand we have the 2025-2026 championship teams with us. How about a big round of applause? Councilmember Jordan, if you please would take the lead on this for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With pride, I would love to talk about this. As a liaison to the Recreation Commission, about 40 years ago, we had some citizens come to us and said, hey, look, YMCA is leaving, and they were doing our basketball program, and there's going to be a real void in our program in our community. And we said, what can we do to help? They said, we've got the talent, we've got the leadership, so let us take it over in conjunction with Recreation and let us launch this league. So it's been 3 years right now, three very successful years. And right now I'd like to turn this over. By the way, one of the people that came to us was Sasha Dunkerfield. At that point, just a citizen, and now she's the head of Recreation, and she's an intricate part of our Freehold basketball league. So I'd like Sasha to come up and talk a little bit about the teams and the season and honor our kids.
Good evening, everybody. So as you said, I'm Sasha Dunkerfield, now Doyle. And just a little more of a backstory. Coach C, he's out there. He's a recreation commissioner as well. But we actually started We Are the Future some years ago, and some of the coaches were actually coaches from the Colonial League. And with the connections of everything and everybody, and the blessing from Freehold Borough, we were able to birth the Freehold Borough Basketball League. We wouldn't be able to do it without the support of you, the residents, and of course the leadership of the coaches and parents that trust us with their children. So this year was our 3rd season. It went great. We have a lot of coaches that return, and of course our young adults as well. The first team that I would like to talk a bit about is the Ankle Breakers. Clap it up. We don't pick those names. And I would be remiss if I didn't always acknowledge 2 of my favorite coaches, Coach Frank and Coach Jim. They actually, for the 3rd season, have coached 2 teams for us. So they coached in the 3rd and 5th grade bracket and the 6th and 9th grade bracket. They just do it with such pride, and they help us out with registration and all different kinds of stuff. So the 13 Saturdays, because I count all of the Saturdays, we had 1 scrimmage, we had 11 games, and then we actually had our first annual All-Star game this year. So we kind of broke it up and did a little bit different, and it worked out well. So I'll stop rambling. I'm going to bring up all of our players first. We got Ryan Evigan. Charlotte McDavitt. to correct me on this, but is it Amora? Amora. I'll get it. Amora Dudley, Ronan Rouse, Harry Gilmore, Jackson Dorff, Ethan Boudreaux, and Damian Penaloza.
I can see everything from the back.
Stand right in the front.
Yes.
And just another acknowledgement, every season we've done something a little new. So this year we had our first in history, our MVP for the 3rd to 5th grade bracket. He'll raise his hand, Ronan Rouse was our All right, great guys. Thank you so much for coming. You guys can All right, so for the 6th to 9th grade bracket, we have the Memphis Tigers at one of our teams. And I do actually know their names, so I'm just going to call up who's here. We have Lorenzo Pena, Mark Warner, Cade Smith, and Jack Cassie. Thank you so much for coming. Before I close, we are always looking for volunteer coaches, assistants, and any volunteers that want to help out with any part of the season, you know where to find me. I'm here all the time. Thank you guys very much.
And how about a round of applause for the parents?
Yes.
For a couple more minutes, if you don't mind. We have one more special presentation that I would like for you all to see. Item 4, we're honoring Dante Canzona, Empower Sports Network athlete, selected to represent Team New Jersey at the 2026 Special Olympics USA Games. So I would like to ask Councilmember Rogers.
We were reached out to by parents, please come up as well. We were reached out to by Dante's coach to let us know about his accomplishments in the weightlifting arena. So I just want to read you the bio that was sent to me because it's quite impressive. Dante is a 2019 graduate of Freehold Borough High School and has been involved in athletics his entire life. Over the years, he has participated in multiple sports but found his true passion in weightlifting. For the past 2 years, Dante has been competing in powerlifting. In September 2024, he began training with Sam Kinningham, where he quickly stood out for his strong work ethic, dedication, and desire to continuously improve. Beyond athletics, Dante has shown leadership and initiative in other areas. He created and hosts his own podcast, Dante the Sports Guy, love it, and plays a key role in helping grow Empower Sports Network, where he contributes to the program development and community engagement. Dante lives by the belief that people with disabilities can do anything they want to do, and he demonstrates that mindset every day through his actions. In June 2026, Dante will represent New Jersey at the Special Olympics USA Games in Minnesota, June 20 to 26, an incredible honor that reflects his hard work and commitment. We are extremely proud of Dante and all that he represents within our community. And this was written by his coach. A young person put in the work that you have obviously put in, and we wish you the best.
Thank you.
So I'd like to present this citation to Dante, and it, on behalf of Mayor and Council of Freehold Borough, commendations and praise are extended to Dante Canzona.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Member of Team New Jersey at the 2026 Special Olympics USA Games in the sport of powerlifting. His technical ability, character, and sportsmanship will help him triumph at this competition and throughout life.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm gonna hold you for one more minute. Promise you'll be home to do homework and ready to go to school. But I just want you to see, you all are playing basketball, playing sports, going to school here in the borough. Hopefully you get involved with the community, give back to the community. This is what happens when somebody, our next honoree has served 50 years in our fire department. You've seen the fire trucks go to fires and everything. This next gentleman has been a volunteer in our fire department for 50 years. Imagine that, right? Okay, so item 6 is a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold honoring Raymond F. Sheehan Jr., 50 years of service to the Freehold Fire Department. Someone would like to move this resolution?
I'll move that, please.
Second.
There's discussion before I make the presentation?
What can you say?
Okay, roll call.
Thank you, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Rice?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, this resolution adopted. I would like to ask Councilmember Benedetto if you would please present this to Ray Sheehan.
Before I do, I'd like to introduce Jeff Freeman, Sharon Schutzer. We're part of the Public Safety Committee. We have other 50-year members in the audience. Could you please stand up?
All sit.
I'd like to ask ex-Chief Taylor, there's a stat that I would like to give known to about the fire department since day one. Chief, can you please give them that stat?
When I had some time Well, first off, they put me on a committee for 50-year members, which is very rare in the Freehold Fire Department. So I started doing my research, and I went through, we have a little book that every member has to sign in when they become a member of the Freehold Fire Department. The book goes all the way back to the 1800s. I went through every signature in that book and counted approximately 1,200 members until last year. And only 21 members out of that 1,200 over the 150 years have made 50 years in this department. So it's not an easy thing to do. They don't see many people doing it all. Like I said, out of 1,200, only 21. Ray may be 22 now that I got to update my book. So it's very, very good achievement. Very good achievement. And if I may say, Mr. DeBenedetto, my dad and my grandfather both made 50 years in the department.
Yes, there are names that have echoed through the fire department for years, of families that have given and given back to the community. The Sheehan's is one of them. Ray's dad, Ray's brother, and the whole family bought into the fire department. And we'd like to thank them on our behalf. And I always say the coolest book, kids, is not in the library. It's at the fire department. Like you said, it goes back to the 1800s. It's in pen where they dipped it in ink and signed the book to dedicate themselves and their 50 years, as we see today, to serving the community and serving you. So, on behalf of
Also, real quick, can we have all the ex-chiefs please stand too? And we have an ex-chief former mayor hiding in the back. Nolan Higgins. Nolan, keep him up there.
Ray, if you can come up with your family, please.
You don't have to.
Robert, you can take the day off. You can come up.
There's never a day off.
I don't want to look too small. He used to tackle me in high school. I do. Chief, would you like to come up? President, would you like to come up? Any other chiefs would like to invite? Any chiefs would like to come up? You're more than welcome.
And you know what? While they're coming up, let's thank the wives and parents and families who missed meals, who have done everything they can to support the service that these gentlemen have provided.
Borough of Freehold, a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold honoring Raymond Shea Jr. to 50 years of service to the Freehold Fire Department. Whereas Raymond F. Sheehan Jr., known as Totes, was born in Neptune, New Jersey, and raised in Freehold Borough, and currently living in Jackson Township. And whereas Ray F. Sheehan Jr. joined the Freehold Fire Department Engine and Hose Company No. 1 on February 2nd, 1976, and the Monmouth Hose Company on April 21st, 1980, and carried on the family tradition following in his father's footsteps. And whereas Raymond F. Sheehan Jr. currently is holding the position of First Lieutenant and has also served in his company as Captain, President, Treasurer, and Qualified Driver of the engine. And whereas Raymond F. Sheehan Jr. achieved life membership status in the New Jersey State Firemen's Relief Association, currently serving as representative to the Freehold Fire Department's Relief Association and a member of the Freehold Fire Department's Exempt Association and treasurer of the Freehold Fire Department's 125th Anniversary Committee, where he was involved with the planning and organizing of the celebration parade and events. And whereas Raymond F. Sheehan Jr. took as truck committee chairman of the 1990 Price Lance engine, and whereas Raymond F. Sheehan Jr. is a dedicated fireman to the community, having responded to alarms both large and small, including one of the largest in history, the grandstand fires at the Freehold Raceway in May of 1984, and whereas Raymond F. Sheehan Jr., father Raymond F. Sheehan Sr., and brother Stephen M. Sheehan both serve as chief of departments. And whereas Raymond F. Sheehan Jr., in addition to his service to the Freehold Fire Department, was also a member of the Jackson Mills Fire Company, where he served as an assistant chief. Now therefore, it be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold that a stamped copy of this resolution, certified as true by the Borough Clerk, shall be presented to Raymond F. Sheehan Jr. Further be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold that their appreciation for the 50 years of his dedicated service to the Freehold Fire Department be extended to Raymond F. Sheehan Jr., along with the best wishes for many more years of health and happiness. Thank you very much.
Before Ray talks, I just gotta let you, especially for the kids. When you're from Freehold, you're from Freehold. But when you get a nickname from Freehold, you're really from Freehold. His dad's name, you wouldn't know what Colossians were, but anyway, his dad's name was Boots. His nickname was Coats. And his nickname is Rubbers. So that's how we know, and that's how you know you're really from Freehold. And there's other nicknames out there, but I won't say it here.
Yeah, it all started with Dad, and I guess one of his friends got in first. Dad joined, and just like other members, they were sitting here to hear from their parents, hear from their father. So it was just something that was a big thing with the special thing with the Borough Fire Department. Kind of, I think, a little bit more unique to us than anybody else. But, we're still around, we're still trying to hang in there and do what we can, so I appreciate the acknowledgement.
And his lovely mother supported, and I knew her, and she was a lovely lady. His lovely mother supported all those years of her husband being involved and her two sons. So we talk about Big Ray, and we talk about the sons, and we're also talking about the mama.
All fire guys.
All fire guys, welcome, man.
Get up here. Come on, Michael. Stand up, will you?
Come on this side,
Come on, Mike.
Get us all in.
Come
Not before we honor his sister as well.
When you were back. Okay, get the bag of balls.
Oh, no.
So much.
Listen, I've done worse than this thing.
Clean the room out. Clean the basketball and park. Oh, it's about that. There's probably somebody trying to get money out of somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna resume with the agenda. Item 7 this evening is workshop session. No. Okay. Item 8 is our administrator's report. Our administrator, Steve Gallo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Council members on the dais, citizens here in the chamber, and those who are watching at home. I'll briefly synopsize some of our activities from the past month and then answer any questions that you may have. With regard to redevelopment in the town, the hometown redevelopment project is moving forward. We're in the process of completing the acquisition of 32 Broad Street, which is one of the 10 parcels that need to be assembled for this project. The developer, Cappadocia, already has control of several of the other parcels. And we have a contract on the agenda tonight for the design of a new storage facility annex for the fire department, which will allow the sale of the 3 borough parcels in this redevelopment area to the developer. They are finalizing their land use application, and they should be before the Unified Planning Board sometime early this summer. Victory Court redevelopment project, we have the designated developer or about to be designated developer here in the chamber, and there is a redevelopment agency hearing on the agenda for this evening. 200 Park Avenue, the only thing that's holding it up is approval by the county planning board, I'm informed, so hopefully that'll get completed soon and they can move forward with construction. We continue to work with Nestle's while they're negotiating with a developer who has got a prospective tenant that would make a great addition to the community, bring some new jobs, manufacturing jobs, and we hope that that will move forward soon. We're also maintaining contact and communication with the new owners of the Freehold Raceway as they work to develop their plan for the redevelopment of the property. We've had several discussions back and forth, sharing of ideas, and hopefully we'll see some progress on that as well. 500 Park Avenue, the redevelopment plan for this parcel has been completed and will be on the agenda this evening for a couple of minor tweaks, and once that's completed, they can move forward with their land use application. With regard to roadway projects, Bond and Liberty Street are in the process of being resurfaced. The site work has been completed with aprons and curb work being done, and the actual milling and resurfacing is ongoing this week. We have an award for an engineering contract for the Robertsville Mead and Runyon Road resurfacing project. Once the engineers are hired, they'll complete the design and then send it to DOT for a review. Hopefully there'll be a quick process and we can be out to bid later on this spring. Likewise, we've awarded a contract for the design of a paving project involving improvements on Elm, Pattinger, and Pittenger Street. Once that design is complete, it'll be submitted to DOT, and once approved, we can go out to bid. We're also waiting to hear back from DOT with regard to the Main Street crosswalk beacons project that's been kind of in the hopper for a long time. This involves the mid-block crosswalk in front of the American Hotel, as well as the crosswalk at Throckmorton, where we're going to be making pedestrian safety improvements and adding some flashing lights. We were advised this week to apply for a permit with DOT. That application has been filed, and we believe once that's received, we can go out to bid on that. We also have a large number of parks projects in the pipeline, including the Jake's Law handicap accessible playground that is planned for Lenore Street Park. Once that, we're finalizing the playground design. Once that's done, we'll put it up on the website and share it with interested people for their commentary. And once we've received all that information, we can go out to bid with that. Likewise, Musgrave Park has also been cleared. We're finalizing the project, and we'll share that before we go out to bid as well. We have solicited proposals from engineering firms to complete several design improvements at Veterans Park. We have grant funding to install a staircase to make it easier to enter the park from up above from one of the higher streets, and we look forward to getting that accomplished this summer. We also have received CDBG funding for Wilson Field for the soccer mini pitches. Those funds can be used to install the pads upon which the actual mini pitches will be installed. We are finalizing phase 1 of Liberty Street Park improvements, which was the addition of basketball courts and walking trails, and we're finalizing the design for phase 2, which includes a water feature, pickleball courts, and a new play structure for the park. Work at the Court Street School is progressing, and they should be completed by September. We've awarded a contract to USA Architects for the design of our new fire headquarters and municipal building, as well as renovations that would be needed here at Borough Hall. And we expect them to begin their programming phase of that project as well. Let's see what else we got. With regard to the parking utility, we have a meeting on our wayfinding signs on Wednesday, and we hope that project will move forward. And we also have received engineering proposals to manage the resurfacing, reconstruction, and landscaping of the Market Yard parking lot this summer, and that will be ultimately paid for by parking revenue funds, so that that long overdue improvement can be completed, and we'll have a new surface on the Market Yard parking lot. Code enforcement has been conducting systematic inspections of large apartment buildings, and they've identified several issues that need to be addressed, and they're in discussions with the owners about making those necessary improvements. We are approved for our financing and waiting for the project design to be approved by DEP for the lead service line replacement project. And we've also been approved for financing for the water tower refurbishment project. So we're going to combine the funding from the iBank, which comes in the form of a forgivable loan, as well as $1 million that our Congressman Herb Conway was able to get us for the refurbishment of our water towers here in town. We're also looking forward to the celebration of the 250th anniversary of our country, and we are planning different events throughout the summer and into the fall, including we're supporting the Memorial Day Parade Committee's concert. We're having the June 28th Spirit of Monmouth Festival in cooperation with Downtown Freehold, We will have our annual reading of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, and an Independence Day celebration with music and fireworks at the Freehold Raceway on July 5th. We're working on a community mural project, which would see volunteers taking panels home to complete themselves and then returning them for incorporation in a large mural that has a patriotic theme. And we're also completing the Battle of Monmouth Historic Walking Trail project, which will see key locations involved with the Battle of Monmouth highlighted with site signage at the different locations. We had a meeting with the residents from Barco and Brentwood regarding traffic issues in that neighborhood, and our consulting engineer will be providing a list of recommendations and safety enhancements. Then we'll identify a funding source and get those improvements on the way. And that's basically what we've been up to. Very busy.
Thank you. Any questions for Administrator? Okay, thank you. Item 9, the approval of minutes, council meeting April 6, 2026.
I'll offer that.
I'll second one, please.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, the minutes of our council meeting of April 6, 2026 are approved. Item 10 is a proclamation of the mayor and council designating April 24, 2026 as Arbor Day in the borough of Freehold. I'd like to ask Councilmember Rogers if you'd read that into the record for us, please.
Yes. Borough of Freehold proclamation of the mayor and council of the Borough of Freehold designating April 24, 2026 as Arbor Day in the Borough of Freehold. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource given as paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Kevin King, Mayor of the Borough of Freehold, do hereby proclaim April 24, 2026 as Arbor Day in the Borough of Freehold, and I urge all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and support our borough shade tree program. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations. So, in alignment with the declaration of Arbor Day, the Columbia Bank has donated a tree to the Park Avenue school complex, and that will be dedicated on next Tuesday, April 28th at 10:30 in the morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11 is a proclamation of the mayor and council of the borough of Freehold declaring the borough of Freehold a stroke smart community. I'd like to ask Councilmember Jordan if you please read this into the record for us.
Thank you. Proclamation of the mayor and council of the borough of Freehold declaring the borough of Freehold a stroke smart community. Whereas 1 in 6 people will have a stroke in their lifetime, and 80% of the families are affected. Additionally, stroke is the leading cause of long-term disability, putting a tremendous financial burden on individuals, families, as well as society. Whereas there are life-saving treatments that must be administered between 3 to 4.5 hours once the symptoms begin. And only a small percentage of patients go to the hospital within the treatment window, because the majority of people do not know how to spot a stroke or the importance of calling 911 immediately. Whereas the borough of Freehold Public and private schools will be encouraged to make stroke smart, spot on stroke, stop a stroke, save a life part of the training for all students, faculty, and families. And whereas all the Freehold Borough employees' health and safety will focus on things such as, whereas the Borough Freehold health and safety focused entities such as hospitals, clinics, physicians, medical practices, health departments, pharmacies, fire, EMS, public safety, social service departments, and all city employees will be urged to participate in improving Borough of Freehold stroke literacy to educate all of its employees, volunteers, and associates in the communities. Whereas the Borough of Freehold community, including businesses, civic organizations, senior communities, faith-based organizations, and inhabitants will be encouraged to participate and contribute to Smart Stroke, Spot a Stroke, Stop a Stroke, Save a Life campaign for the active citizen efforts. And whereas the goal is to educate everyone in the Borough of Freehold about stroke recognition and the importance of dialing 911 immediately, and therefore reducing the onset of a stroke, to be measured by EMS and local hospital systems, and thereby be a model for other communities, cities, countries, commonwealths, and the state of the nation, thereby advancing the vision of a stroke-smart America. Therefore, in support of making the Borough of Freehold stroke-smart, I, Kevin King, Mayor of the Borough of Freehold, do hereby proclaim on this day, April 20th, that the Borough of Freehold will now herein be stroke-smart, listed as stroke-smart Freehold Borough, in full support of Spot a Stroke, Stop a Stroke, and Save a Life. So I'm Kevin King, Mayor, April 20th, 2026.
Thank you. Item 12 is a second reading public hearing, ordinance 2026/10, to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14. This is the second reading public hearing. If anyone from the public would care to address the governing body on this ordinance, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Seeing no public comments, I move that we close the public session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, the public hearing part is closed. We have a resolution adopting ordinance 2026/10 and authorization of publication. Someone like to move that, please?
I'll move that.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
The ordinance 2026/10 is adopted. Item 13 is the introduction of the 2026 municipal budget notice to the Borough of Freehold, establishing the date for the public hearing, May 18th, 2026, and authorization publication required notices. Someone like to move that?
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Here, 2026 municipal budget is introduced. Item 14 is our consent agenda, and just a note that matters listed on the consent agenda required to conduct the day-to-day operations of the borough will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired of any item, that item will be considered separately. Someone would like to move consent agenda items CR1 through CR11?
I'll make them.
Mayor, could I request that CR1 and CR2 be separated?
Someone would like to move consent agenda items CR3 through CR11?
I'll make a motion to move those, please.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
Just very quickly to note, Mr. Mayor, and the people watching the audience, on CR5 is our improvement for our fireworks, which is going to happen on Sunday, July 5th.
Okay. Further discussion? Roll
And
call.
just the reason for that is we originally wanted to schedule it on the 3rd. However, due to the concert at the park stage at the fairgrounds, we considered a public safety issue to have two of those going on at the same time, so we moved it to the 5th.
Thank you. further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda items, CR3 through CR11 are adopted. Consent agenda item CR1, acknowledge compliance with the 2019 Center for Rehabilitation Plan regarding Block 71, Lot 9, 10 and 12, West Main Street Holdings, LLC. Can someone move that?
I'll make the motion with that, please.
Second.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yes, I will be voting no as I voted no on the original discussion because of issues with parking that
Any further discussion?
as well.
I'm voting yes. The applicant brought the use down from 19 apartments down to 9 apartments. I believe the apartments that were designed are in keeping with the type of apartments we want to have in our community. They are nice apartments. I did not think 19 was appropriate for the community. I did not think it would be appropriate for residents living there. I think what we've come away with is a good compromise and in keeping with the downtown, and property owners do have a right to use their property. I mean, we have to balance property owners' right to use property and make sure we get what we think is the best thing for our community. And I think this accomplishes that goal. So I'm going to vote yes.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
No.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
No.
Okay, consent agenda item CR1 is adopted. CR2 is acknowledging compliance with the 2019 Center for Rehabilitation Plan, Block 71, Lot 8, 14 to 16 West Main Street, 14 to 16 West Holdings, LLC. Like to offer that?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yes, again, to be consistent, I will be voting no.
Same.
Any other discussion?
And for the same reasons of the other one, I'll be voting yes.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
No.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
No.
Okay, consent agenda item CR2 is adopted. That's the end of our consent agenda. Item 15 is approval of bills.
Make a motion that we pay our bills.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I just want to say, all of the bills are reviewed on we're going to sign the invoices, so they're validated and, approved by all parties who sign the invoices.
Further discussion?
Yes, I just want to say how impressed I was this month that our garbage was only $117,000. That's down a little bit, so I'm impressed.
Any further discussion?
I'm dead serious about that one.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Our bill list for this evening's meeting is approved. Item 16, we have a couple redevelopment presentations. I'm going to ask our attorney, Mr. Cosgrove. We'll start off with A, which is 32 South Realty LLC, requesting change of use, second floor, Block 71, Lot 15, 32 South Street, Zone FCCRP, B2HPC. I'll ask Mr. Cosgrove to set this up for us, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This will be an application before the mayor and council sitting redevelopment entity. The applicant is represented by council, who will present the plans and open it up to a hearing. The borough has received comprehensive reports from CNA Borough Engineers and Beacon Planning Borough Planner, who are both here tonight and will assist with asking questions and present summaries of the report at the conclusion of the application.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilwoman, council members. Dante Alfieri on behalf of the applicant, which is 32 South Street Realty LLC. The property is 32 South Street. I have my client here who's going to provide some testimony with relation to what we're proposing tonight. We also do have our architect, if there's any questions with relation to the architectural. So without further ado, we have our client come up and introduce himself.
My name is Moshe Steiner.
Mr. Steiner, are you the principal of 32 South Street Realty LLC?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you please describe the site to the council, mayor, and council? And what we're proposing.
I'll swear your witnesses in.
Certainly.
Raise your right hand, please. Anyone who's going to be open to it. Do you swear or affirm that your testimony this evening will be truthful?
Yes.
Thank you.
So, I believe this page to South Street is familiar to everybody. A couple of times over here. The purpose for right now is that we'd like to get approved the use of the second floor for apartments. I know it was there a couple of months ago for 2, but now we have the brewing went out. They used to have the mezzanine on the second floor. Right now it's not even getting used anymore. So basically, I got back the whole area there. So basically, I'm going to have room for. I would like to be used and then be able to use it for apartments. 2 bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms. Now, last time I was here, the reason we got denied was because of the parking issue was a big, we had a lot of people coming in and out from the brewing was the major concerns about having an apartment upstairs. But right
The
now,
main problem is the parking was with the restaurant, not the brewery. The brewery,
we'll get to the restaurant in a second. One of the issues, I'm not saying all the issues, one of the issues was mentioned that people coming in from the brewery from the back and the front, people coming in, maybe it's not that safe to have it an apartment. I would be concerned to have an apartment if you have drunk people coming in and out. This was one of the issues. We don't have it right now. Now, going back, so the first thing I would like to go over to see the practical of the documents, how it looks like. If there's any recommendations we can do. And the last thing is the parking issue. But I think now we're going to have less issue with the parking because if we're going to go back to all the approvals that we got in the past, was the building, wherever the building has a grandfather parking that came with the buildings and the on-site parking, even we don't have the on-site parking physically, but all the parkings and all the approvals that we got back from the mayor and council and from back from the planning board came out after all the numbers, we were a shortage of 45 spots. That's what it says. If you look over all the paperwork there, we had a shortage of 45 brewing together with the rest.
but that was before the patio was passed, right?
I'm not sure because if you look, let's look. If you wanna, we can argue this, but let's look what it says on the planning board. If you look at the
The
planning
patio
board,
wasn't built,
2019.
the patio wasn't built until after the planning board. And the patio was approved for one side.
Yes, but if
And when you
you
went for
look,
engineering, they couldn't do the fittings, so they made the patio twice as big and provided seating for it. So that. and
So how much is it
considerably-
for?
I don't know, I'm not,
so
Not the restaurant.
okay, so let's go over to see the resolution. And the resolution says on page 5, you have 120 seats.
For the record, which resolution are you?
There's a resolution from.
This is a resolution from the planning board, PV 2019-012, for the record.
Okay, on page 5, it says to have 120 seats plus an additional 64 seats outside. It doesn't mention about any about seasonal. It's having 124 seats plus an additional 64 seats outside. And the night crew was originally proposed to have 75 seats, but we now have 74 seats. And that came up with a total of 36 spaces, 20 spaces, with a shortage of 45 spaces. This numbers, okay? This was numbers of 45 spaces with a shortage. And they provided the leases from the Habitat and from the car mechanic shop. It was a total from table 1 of 25. And then an extra little bit extra spots comes out the numbers the total. Right now, we don't have the brewing anymore, and we still have the two leases. So we have a lot of extra parking actually. And we got actually approval to do for the new tenant, as they have extra for the parking, the $1,500 for 8 spots, and 4, we have the on-site for the 7, they got 4.
So we discussed that. You have no spots on the property. There were 7 spots when it was a glass factory, and there were 7 spots facing where the big doors were. Those spots behind, as by the borough surveys, as by everyone has acknowledged, have never been and never were on that property.
Again,
Never have been on that property. The 7 spots that were allocated to that building were on its property, but that's where the patio now sits. Right?
I'm not sure, could be. But I still have a
I
handicap.
can swear in front.
Okay, so that's happening, we don't have, what we have from the upstairs, we have grandfathering for the offices was before. We had some, because with a shortage, only 45. It doesn't say, that's what it says in the planning board, the resolution that we had it at 45 of shortage, right? After grandfather parking and all the kind of numbers, we had 45 of shortage. So that's what we have for the shortage. Right now, we don't have a shortage because, again, we have only a shortage from the restaurant, not from the brewing. The brewing doesn't exist anymore. So basically, 45, you have to minus from the brewing numbers.
But then you have to add the additional seats that the restaurant has added.
What's additional seating? I see 164, they don't have more than 124 and 56, they don't have more than that. It's 180 seats, they don't have more than that. They don't have more.
I know the patio was expanded after the planning board approvals, and it was never addressed, so.
Again, we have 124, it says in the page 5, 124 seats plus additional 64 seats outside. They don't have more than that. I especially asked Jay, how many seats is it? If you have more than 100, you don't have more than that. Again, even the seats outside, they don't sit there all the time. And when it's really cold, you can't sit there. Really cold, I don't think you can sit there.
I agree.
And people, again, maybe it's more the season, like the weather than that, like today, you can't sit in the street because it's closed, maybe you could see it. But it's also, now it's the season, you know what I mean? It's not, but that doesn't say anything about seasonal.
I don't know which resolution, the one I read was very clear seasonal, but that's either here or there. It's really about the expansion of the patio, that it has increased the number of seats.
But how much more? That's what it says over here, 124 and 56. We can come down, but these are the numbers.
It's your job to prove to us that it hasn't been expanded, not
This
my
is-
job to prove that it has.
Again, I go based on, I spoke to my tenants, and they told me this is what the numbers they have, 124 plus the 64. This is the number.
We'll have to practice all that.
What?
We'll figure it all out.
Right, we'll figure it out, no problem. So we have now 45 shortage, right now we removed the 20 from the brewing, but we don't have anymore. The slime guy got approved, he's paying for the parking. I don't know how to mix them in over here in this specification.
Engineers and people will figure that out.
Right, so basically, we have parking across the street by what's it called, by the Habitat, and we have 45. We need 45, but we have much more.
How many spots are on the Habitat for Humanity?
31.
How many?
31.
31. How many are being used by the restaurant?
How much I use? Whatever they need,
Did Habitat get sold?
Yes, he bought
Yes,
it.
He bought
So
it.
you bought it, so you made a new agreement with yourself then?
basically.
Well, what will Habitat need?
Huh?
What will that building?
What that building will need?
Yeah.
Right, now, looking, exactly.
We don't have anything in writing.
We don't calculate
You
that.
given those.
The building, whatever the building needs, it's not, right now, it's even it's after hours. They took, mostly they're using it in the weekends. During the week, we don't need a parking, it's only the weekends that have the late, but that's the time we need the parking. They're using it.
That's the only
They're
time
closed.
people live in apartments is the weekends?
If I'm gonna build apartments, and that's my plan, but not for the record, I'm planning to take 120 parking slots, and that's, rather than build a two-story parking. Probably a big project, hopefully it's gonna work out.
Thank you.
But we have time, this is, what?
That was.
So you're looking to develop that property and you will provide enough parking
Sure,
going
sure.
forward for
Jeff,
whatever you have.
I would like to have enough for everybody to be happy. The town to be
Well,
That's the plan.
That's a lot of parking, because I know some restaurant owners that, to make them happy, you're gonna have to provide a lot of parking.
I'm not gonna make I can't make every restaurant come in.
I'm joking.
You know, but it's coming. I just today I hang up the phone with big engineers to see how which way to go. You know, stacking whatever, a few things, there are a few options. At least I give the minimum 120 that I want. So
That's future plans.
that's future plans, but I'm telling you, it's coming, okay? I don't want to be on the record because it's a project from.
Then don't put it on the record.
Don't put it on.
Bring it back to.
What I'm trying to get at, Counselor, what I'm trying to get at from your client is, there's nothing in writing how many spots are in agreement between himself to the other.
Again, they have.
I'm talking to the council. There's no agreement in writing. We had one with the old owner, we had nothing in front of us from the old owner, no commitment from the new owner. That's what I'm looking for. I want something in writing that says that. The other agreement's gone then. He can't inherit it, he's gotta give us.
You mean the lease itself, to lease the space, is that what you're saying?
He's gotta give us something in writing, because God forbid he turns it into an apartment on a new property. Then where we go? We're chasing spots all night.
I
Well,
understand.
we already
Thank you.
are.
We already are.
Well, we already are, we're gonna chase more down the road, is what I'm getting at, Council.
And no matter how we disagree, you have to agree that I'm nothing if not consistent. And my concern is, how many times can you use the same parking? How many times can we talk about that auto shop back there?
Which no one
How
has ever,
many
which no one
times?
has ever parked.
How many and they're not going to, because who's
It's
going to
unsafe.
come to a restaurant or someplace and walk around the way you have to walk to get? But my point is, and I think that you understand this, that I'm being very honest in representing the downtown Freehold and Freehold Borough when I exercise my right to be concerned about how many times we can use the same parking spots. So, I don't want to argue with you, I'm not going to argue, but I would ask you to be honest in seeing my honesty in my concern.
Okay, so basically what comes out is we have 31 spots. We had a shortage of 45 when we had both tenants. Right now we don't have both, only one. So we have both, actually we have two leases. The 40 minutes south, we have the habitat, and we have the mechanic shop. The mechanic shop, I know quickly sometimes it's full, you know, we can't use all the spots. We're talking about the restaurant is using mostly as way parking, so people don't walk themselves there and close by the park
Right,
there.
but they put the valets then into the Habitat for Humanity lot. I mean,
Right,
so-
that's
And
the
that's
lease
what we're-
about, that's what the lease, they have the agreement to use it.
Right.
That's very good. That's what we made up, that's
So
what
how
the
many
agreement
times
we got
can we
approved.
use that?
What?
How many times can we use that?
What do you mean, how many times? It's only
For
the
the
restaurant, only the restaurant using it, who else is using it?
Well, you referenced using it, so, you know, I'm just concerned.
Who, for what? Using it for what?
Okay,
Only
Mike's,
the restaurant.
yeah, so Mike's point, that lease is void, right?
Which
Yeah,
one?
those
My
are
client
all-
is fairly.
I have to provide it.
I know you own it.
Yeah.
Next, please.
Well, and if we're gonna approve it this time, our ordinance said these parking arrangements, I believe Steve, our planner and engineers can correct me if I'm wrong, but these leases are supposed to run with the land. Correct?
That would be the only way you could be assured that they
That is
exist.
the only way you can be assured that they exist.
Yeah, and the development agreement does specifically say it needs to run with the land.
It does, doesn't it?
Black and white, yes.
It is pretty black and white, and I'm not sure that got fully taken care of last time. So I'd like to make sure it does this time, if we are going to be doing this.
So really what I will recommend, again, what I will say, because, you know, going back and forth, what's gonna happen in a year, what's gonna happen in 2, what's gonna happen in 3. We should do the calculation, how many parking the restaurant has, how much the apartment, let's pay the fee, $1,500. And again, I'm running a big show over here in town, you guys know me. I try to make happy all my tenants, everybody to have parking, everybody to have, that's what I'm here, and that's what I'm trying to make them, to have. I have the Habitat parking space, we will continue to park there, whatever it is right now. And apartments, if I do the apartments, same thing, they're gonna get 4, every tenant will get a designated parking spot with the park. And we'll still pay the $1,500, I have no problem, like this, we get this off. And if something happens in the future, we develop, I will make sure that, they still have, again, the restaurant has more parking spots. I still have more parking, I have in the parking yard, I have 20 spots. After 5, 6 o'clock, they're not being used. The weekends.
In what yard?
In the yard. I have 43 Main Street. I have under the building, I have 20 spots.
Wait, where is this?
42 East Main.
42.
In the market, when you go from the market.
You can't count that, you cannot count that, you cannot count parking that's. You're talking about the old Christopher House, the parking that's underneath the building?
Yes.
You can't count that towards anything but that. Come on, man.
I'm not counting anything right now. I'm saying for short time and period, I do development and I need to have something to park. I will make my tenants happy to straighten the park with. Again, pay the $1,500, like this, we open the parking, okay? Like this, we don't have to come back to the mayor and council again, where we park, what's going on. But we'll make sure every time, again, they're running a business, they have to have parking for the blocks.
But
So they can have parking.
again, how many times can you use the same parking?
We're not using double parking. We're using, the 45 South Street, the Habitat, it's empty, nobody's using the parking, the place is empty. If we have a tenant who comes in for temporary, the place is eventually be redeveloped, right? So if whatever's gonna happen, we'll make sure that after hours they can park there.
What about during hours? What if we have a tenant that works remotely from home and has to park during the day? This is the same conversation we had on the property on West Main. You
Again,
cannot guarantee that your tenants are only going to park at night.
I'm gonna do the day, they can park where they park. Right now, they can park anytime, we don't have business there. It's empty.
Mr.
Right now,
Chairman?
it's empty.
Mr. Gallo, you have something to say?
I just want to make sure it's perfectly clear to all concerned that the parking waiver fee is not an either or. It's not a choice. You don't get to pick it. It applies in situations where the applicant cannot meet their parking burden and a variance is granted. Then you have to pay a parking waiver fee. You don't get to come and say, instead of providing the spots, I'll just pay the fee. That's a decision both by the redevelopment entity and by the Unified Planning Board, not by the applicant.
Right, definitely not.
The first time I said this was years ago about the market. Every time we overlook this parking issue, we do it to the detriment of existing businesses downtown. We have a responsibility.
Thank you. Again, so we have parking and having that parking lot right now, 21 spots. And what I can use for the apartments to be parking for.
But
Which one is
charcoal
one?
uses.
What?
It's on record that charcoal used
But
habitat.
charcoal doesn't need so many parking there.
But wait a minute, they were approved based on their, say,
They were approved together when they have, with 2 tenants, they got approved for this parking. Right now, we don't have 1 tenant there anymore. They need was 20 spots. So we removed this 20 spots already. So we're now with less. We were short 45, they provided 54 parking spots. We are removing right now 20, because the room is not there anymore.
Yeah, but you have a tenant going in there, and he came last week and said, or last meeting, and said that he was using that upstairs space, and now you're saying you wanna make it into a
Again,
parking.
No, he wasn't using, he did testify
not
He
using
had-
it, he's not using it.
Well, that's what he told us when he
The
presented.
end of the
his
session
case.
was he was paying, he's not using it.
All right, well, you need to talk to him. I'm not going to, consider,
Well, hold on.
you know,
This
building
plan here-
apartments up there when you have, again, not only we have duplicate leases for the parking, now we have duplicate uses for the space. You know, this has gotta be clean.
This portion upstairs he still has, right?
Which one?
The slot, the new
The
slide
sign
business.
on the back. Right.
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 You're taking this other section that they have.
Correct.
Right. I think that is pretty consistent with what he was saying.
It's not clear to me.
Okay,
It has to be-
it's not clear.
it has
It's
to
definitely not
be
clear. But I-
Definitely defined. You can't have someone saying that they're using an upstairs space for parties or whatever, and then you come in and you're building apartments. Where's the separation? How are you going to define those spaces?
And
It's not clear to me.
that applies to parking as well. Once spaces are encumbered by a business, we're gonna use these spots for this restaurant, they can't be reused for something else.
Right.
As Jeff had indicated, there needs to be a deed restriction, and those spaces need to be permanently dedicated to that use. If you're gonna use habitat parking for your apartments, they are lost to any development you would do at Habitat.
I think I've said that 17 times. How many times can you use the same park?
You can't.
I think you have to figure out how many spots are available. You gotta figure out how many spots are being used. I think you gotta figure out this whole parking situation with this building, because it was never clear. And then, once you did get your approval, and it went to the actual construction, because you know, when things go to construction, they don't always work out as they do on paper, right? And they went to go put the footings, and the footings didn't fit, or because there was a pipe or something there, and the question was, do you want the balcony smaller or bigger? Well, the restaurant owner, as anyone, I mean, I'm not knocking, I would do the exact same thing. We made the balcony bigger, because what could you do with a bigger balcony? More seats. It was a very logical reasoning why it happened. I'm not knocking or saying anyone did anything underhanded or slighted, but we need to now fix it.
And we need it in a table.
And we need it right.
We need it in writing, we need it in a table. We need to see how many spots the restaurant requires, how many spots the new tenant, downtown slide is going to require, how many spots this apartment application is going to require, how many spots are available with the agreement that you're going to provide with yourself for the, for the Habitat for Humanity parking lot, whatever the other parking lots are. We need to see this information written down, not just you at the podium running numbers in the air for us.
Again.
I'm not opposed to
Can I say
increasing
something?
apartments, but we need a lot more information before, we're not getting there tonight.
Again, but can we have clear right now, how many parking does come to the building? How much?
We
You know,
need
if you wanna go back.
That's not
and-
That's on us.
That's basic, parking is basic.
You gotta come up,
Right.
you gotta come to an agreement between your team and our team on how many spots are actually available. And then you guys have to come up, you gotta speak to the restaurant owner, you gotta speak to the nail salon lady, you gotta figure out how many spots are actually being used. You got the new number for the slime guy, you gotta calculate all that up. Then you know how many spots you're using, you know how many spots you have, and then we can actually go from there.
Borough-owned lots
That's
are
what we
not
need, that's what we
part of
need,
this
we really need.
All deed restricted. When these numbers are arrived, it needs to be done.
And borough-owned lots are not part of this calculation.
Again, what?
Borough-owned lots are not part of this calculation.
No, sure not. No,
I'm just stating the fact, just to make sure that it's out there. So what we're looking for is, because every single time that we have an application of this magnitude, there's always a question about where's parking coming from, how many spots are being earmarked for the apartments, are the park spots being only used during the day, are they only being used at night, weekends, whatever it may be. If a parking spot is being used, it's being used 24/7, 365. It's not gonna be that this apartment gets this spot from 5 o'clock at night until 8 o'clock in the morning, and then during the day it's being used for whatever business purposes or whatever it is. The spot is marked for that use. So what we're asking for, because this is a project where in the past, we've had issues with parking calculations, and things have changed between what was presented and what was constructed, we want to get down on record and on paper what the actual parking requirement is based upon the uses of the spaces. So you've got a restaurant, you've got a nail salon, you've got an assembly space coming in, the downtown assembly space, and then you have these apartments. All those have different requirements based upon the square footages and different uses requirements. And what we want to make sure is, if all of those requirements need 45 spaces, that there is a minimum of 45 spaces on property that you own that is accounted one-to-one for these uses, whatever it may be. And if there's a deficiency, then we will talk about a variance application in order to improve the deficiency in parking, which then comes with this a fee that you were speaking about. But we need to see those numbers. We need to see the math. We need to show your work.
And this isn't just for you. We've had this with lots of other applications, and we've really, it's the reason why we've kind of beefed up our engineering and planning department over there, so we can, really get a handle, and that way, property owners know exactly what they're dealing with. We know exactly what everyone knows. It's not fair to anyone not knowing these numbers.
And this application we could spend the entire time talking about parking, but there are other questions that we have about the application. So can we set aside the parking for right now with understanding that we need information, we need to see?
Now, who is the person for which the team from?
So basically, your team puts together the parking requirements based upon the uses that you have in the space. And you tell us, this is what each space is requiring, and this is what we are providing. Our team will then review that information to confirm it, or to abut it if there's a discrepancy. We're not telling you how many parking spots you have.
Coordinated through Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
One person.
Now
And then he'll coordinate with professionals.
Our engineers have some comments that they brought up in their reviews, and I'm not going to touch on those. I would like to have a couple of architectural questions though. Plans that we got. Where is the secondary means of egress from the commercial's use of the mezzanine? Where's the secondary means? Where's the secondary egress? Hey, you want to switch to page P2? You might, there's some different there. Just say that one more time clearly for the record.
Israel Feldman, licensed architect in New Jersey. So I believe you might not have the latest copy, but you're referring to this area, the
Yes.
secondary, there is a secondary entrance that is added to the property. Actually,
That's not on our drawings.
that's not.
Yeah, that's totally off.
We don't have them. Mr. Mark, Tower Street.
Yes, they haven't been submitted, but they need to be marked.
So I need you to give a copy of Mr. Crawford.
You guys get the new ones?
We have, drawings that are the second floor, and we have the first floor.
No,
On B2, you have that opening on?
Show him, can you show our engineering plan?
no.
Show him yours on the, your P2s are our engineering plan. It's different than our P2.
Okay. Yeah, but that's different than what you submitted.
Yeah, so again, I
I
don't know.
It's not the same plan.
We'll certainly correct that. We got the corrected plan submitted, so you can see that second meeting.
I'm assuming that that door is an exit-only door, that people from the apartment complex cannot open the door to go into the commercial space? It's a restricted door. Okay. Where are the HVAC units going for the apartments? On the rooftop. Okay. What type of windows are in the front and the back of the second floor? What type of
Oh,
windows?
you mean you talk about in terms of egress?
What type of windows are they?
What's that?
It's a picture window.
No, you can open it up.
Casement?
Has openings also.
It has an opening. It can be opened.
Sure, it
Okay.
can be open.
Because the pictures that were provided, they don't look like they're
Coming
open.
from inside, you can see as a handle, you can open it up.
Are you referring to like the egress windows?
Yeah, I mean, you're calling for bedrooms in the front and the back of the space, and according to these pictures, they just look like straight picture windows. They don't look, I don't see any handles, I don't see any apparatus that allows the windows to be operated. I mean, I'm looking right here at a picture of the storage room, and this window is, pun intended, clear as day.
Goes one is opening, one is not, one is opening, one is not. Because
So,
Yeah, so the bedrooms are definitely gonna be provided.
what about the living spaces?
And the common areas?
Are those operable?
So the changing windows and that's that other.
Because Harry, remember, you need to,
I hear.
you gotta provide light and ventilation for the space. I just wanna make this point clear. Every single time we get an application, from you, sir, you state specifically in the application that no exterior modifications are going to be done. Now, we already talked about HVAC that's going on the roof. And we're talking about the potential need for windows to be changed. Those are exterior modifications. You're changing the envelope of the building. It's an exterior modification.
The HVAC, ABC, if it's a rooftop, if that's considered a problem.
It's the exterior.
Windows, I went over, it doesn't have to be changed. Again.
How are you meeting light and ventilation requirements for the living spaces?
So I've got living spaces, when I was there with I was there with.
I'm not talking about bedrooms, I'm talking about the other spaces in the apartments.
Like what, the kitchen area?
The kitchen, dining room, den spaces.
Oh, you can get ventilation, no, that, to the roof. Nothing's going on inside.
So it's all mechanical ventilation?
Yeah, because, yes, I don't need to have an open window in the kitchen, because that's sprinkled.
So the building is sprinkled?
Yes.
It's not that, there's a requirement for light and ventilation.
The light, we have the window.
Correct.
Doesn't have
And
to be open,
ventilation.
doesn't have to be an open window.
So you're putting in, you're putting in I want to say whole building, but you're putting in a whole space ventilation system to provide the proper amount of ventilation for the apartments. So these are some larger units that are going to be going on the roof.
You're telling me these big dens don't have, these big kitchen dens don't have windows in them?
Sure has window, yeah.
No, it has a window, but they're not operating.
Which one?
I believe there's only one unit that doesn't have any window.
Correct, and that's something that
Unit 2.
right, and so therein lies the conversation that came up with other applications. That you are designing a space that is literally a cave. It's a habitable space that's a cave. There's no light, there's no windows. Studies have shown that spaces like that are not good for well-being.
Unless there's some skylight like we have within the first command.
Okay, well, that may be, but it's not part of this application, and that would also be an exterior modification.
Even going up,
If you are changing the exterior envelope of
if
the
it's not
building,
visible and facing any.
if you are changing the
We
exterior
don't know if
envelope,
it's visible until it's determined that it's not visible.
Skylight, eh?
You will testify it's not visible to somebody, but then the decider of facts have to decide whether it's actually not visible.
We could definitely, double check the windows as far as, he said, again, we have to confirm that existing ones are operable.
and it would be fantastic if those were noted on the plans as well. Because here's the thing, you can tell me, or you can tell us, that these are qualified neighborhood windows.
Yeah.
But when you put them on the plans, it's now part of your record that you have evaluated these windows to be qualified neighborhood windows, and that we are creating spaces that are properly habitable. If you were going through construction documents, you would certainly call them out as qualified neighborhood windows. When you're coming before a redevelopment entity or even planning zoning board, we want to know that information as well. I still have issues with unit number 2. Without any modifications to the plan right now, it's a cave.
Even with the skylight?
No, as it is right now, as submitted right now, it's a catering. So, we want to see the information being properly presented, and we also want to make sure that we're not approving spaces that are not helping.
It took a while to get to where we needed to go to the last application, right? But we got, I think, to some place that you are happy. I would, like I said, I would live in any one of those apartments. You know what we keep asking for, right? But like Adam says, it's like, every time you guys come back for a new application, we have to start from square one and say, are there windows? Are there sinks? Are there this? Are there that? You know what we want. It'll save you time, energy. It'll save everyone time, energy, and money if you present this, come with what,
Finished product.
a finished product.
I just want to disagree for a minute because, number one, I need to see clearly that these apartments are not gonna overlap the commercial space.
Absolutely.
And I don't see that. And I wanna know where they're gonna go in, where they're gonna go out. The second thing is, when we approved that restaurant, we were told that this space was gonna remain vacant. And now we're back here again, looking to put apartments there. We were told that there was not gonna be anything there, or it was gonna be commercial. So, I have an issue with that.
Again, if you get.
It's even documented in
Right,
our
documents,
experts.
We have to come back, if we wanna do any changes, this was not because of any reason whatever,
We were
mine
told
only was because of
that it was
parking.
gonna be vacant.
This was because it was the parking, because the restaurant took all the grandfather into the parking, and they took even from because there was one point, I had a plan to have there a shop, like a dress shop, and they took also everything, so they took all the parking.
Correct.
So that's what
All
the
the parking.
reason, they took all the parking.
All the
from
parking.
building, All the parking.
All
from
the
the building,
parking.
and that was the reason.
That's the point.
I have to come back to the mayor and council of the planning board. Not was the health issue of that condition, the issue was the parking, and that's why I went back to the planning board, and they gave me the, okay, no problem, the mayor and council will agree with you, with the parking, all kind of stuff, you can go ahead and use it as an apartment.
But no one agreed.
So,
And
so-
then you double the rent of
So,
the brewery.
just as a point of clarification,
I didn't discover anything, they did it themselves.
just as a
They
point of
don't do themselves.
just as a point of clarification, and I'm not trying to steal our engineer's thunder, but on Beacon's report on page 4, it says that, of note, on page 5 of the resolution, it states, the board engineer also added that the second floor must remain vacant, and if it is to be used, the use would require an amendment to the instant approval or a new application. Condition 7 of this resolution states, the addition of additional tenants shall require either an amended or a new approval from this board. When the applicants came before us and then the planning and zoning board, that space was denoted as storage. But there is a condition in the resolution that states that it has changed and has come before us. So that's this process that we're going through right now. But we need some information answered. And with that, I don't have anything else at the moment. I do want to make sure that we have lead time for our engineers to review the reports because there are some important items that are being brought up in the report.
With respect, we've actually gone through a number. We did ask that leases for any parking, as was stipulated, say the number of parking spaces on the lot, the total number, how many parking spaces the use on that lot needs, per ordinance, and then how many are remaining, for use, and if they've been leased to any other use. We want that written out in a physical document. With respect to your comments on the parking and the outdoor seating, in the resolution that you referenced from the planning board, it says on page 4 for number 10, Mr. Geller went on to explain that outdoor seating would be seasonal.
Bingo.
And that there would be no outdoor use in the same paragraph.
And then since then, the outdoor seating area was enclosed in heaters and stuff, so making it from a very summer season to except for February when it's -10
Number 10,
season.
first sentence. On the planning board.
Planning board?
Planning
just so we can get on record, so we get it clarified.
I mean, that's part of the whole thing.
Right.
We wanna work with you, we just gotta make sure it's right.
I'm here to work with everybody. That's why I came, and I want to listen first what has to be, I want to hear what, anything on plans, and I guess next time we have all everything together, we know what's going on. I'm not here to sneak in something that.
I haven't changed my story since day one, and you know it.
What?
I haven't changed my view and my opinion and my vote since day one. And by the way, 34 years I've been doing this, and I bet you could trace back me saying exactly the same thing to everybody that I've been saying here. So it's not like we're trying to, you know.
Mark, do you have anything else?
We were just discussing, it would be the Reese's parking standard, because Reese's was adopted for the full borough, so it would be 8 spaces that would be required for the residential, with regards to discrepancy. I'm sorry, that was what we were just discussing. And yeah, just a clarification of how many seats are existing within the restaurant, both indoor and outdoor.
Whatever it says in the 124.
That's not,
It says.
We'll certainly look at it.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The construction took place after the
We're
approval.
I was gonna say earlier, but what we're gonna do is we heard the comments from everyone. We can go through the professional reports, and I think at this point, all we really need to do is go back, make some modifications to the plan so we can show you what you wanna see, what the ultimate product will look like. And then I think the biggest thing is coming to what the ultimate parking calculation is, what's existing, what's proposed, and what's required. Correct. So we'll have all of those.
So, is there anything you need to from the report?
Yeah, I think
Let's go through it, please.
sure. I just want to touch on the parking limit. Yeah, based on the residential site improvement standard, it should be 8 spaces. We have 6 parking spaces. That was based on the rehabilitation plan, so I'll update our report to do the 8 parking spaces. I just want to point out in the original site plan resolution, there's 3 different lease agreements that are listed in there for parking, so just make sure when you look at it, it's, you know, those 3 lease agreements plus any other properties that you're gonna be looking at for shared parking. So
But those lease agreements are not valid anymore because the ownership changed, so we need new lease agreements.
And I will not accept any lease agreement with Monmouth Collision. It's not a safe place, it's not a conducive place for anyone to park. I mean, it's
really
solid shop and box.
brand new.
And when we're looking at the parking and how it's allocated right now, can you take into consideration, I know we're using some habitat sites on here, what's your future plans for redevelopment will that be? Because I don't want to come back here and know, well, we're gonna use this parking. We already have that allocated to something else. Can we make sure we have that as well?
Or if you end up developing another place when you end up developing it, you just realize that if you've allocated 8 spots to this project on that property, when you build, you will have 8 additional spots there for this, you know, and whatever else, for anyone else that.
Once you allocate the spots, they can't be reallocated to whatever you develop there.
Unless we have a substitute. So if you're able to secure separate parking.
And a substitute that this council
Yes.
agrees is an acceptable substitute.
Yeah, we need the entire picture.
And a comment that was made by our engineers also is, and something came up in previous applications, was how is trash recycling going to be handled? If it's something where it's going to a communal location, we need to see either an agreement in place or the steps forward towards an agreement, or whatever it is and whatever's being done, we want, that's also to be part of it.
You'd have to work out something with Charcoal to use their common dump. You know, right now they store, first of all, they store their trash in a little place and then they take it to the market yard. So you're either gonna have to work out an agreement to also store your trash in their little place, which I don't think you will because, I mean, their space is too small to begin with. I think you're gonna have to find out someplace indoors to store the trash and have your maintenance man from the other building come over and take the trash over to the market.
That place is not expensive. They should keep the storage space in the rest of storage of garbage.
They're making charcoal move their garbage?
No, they can stay, we can have, we have enough room there, again.
Okay.
storage,
We
have enough
understand,
room.
we understand the homework assignment.
Yeah, we have enough room.
We're gonna detail everything, including the refuse, how it's gonna be operated.
Common shades, you know, the stuff we keep.
We'll try to address all of the comments within the professional reports as well, before the next week.
Okay, Trevor, anything else?
Just one more thing we had to report, if there's gonna be any new utilities for the facility, for the new units, or if they're gonna be serviced from the existing building. Important to know, how that's, you're gonna have your openings in the street, or what are you doing with utilities? It's,
Used to be 4 offices upstairs, four separate, so we have 4 units separately right now upstairs.
are they sprinklered, are they?
Sprinkler.
And we'll make sure the plans also indicate that.
And I just think just with the building itself, and I know you have revised plans that you showed to the council, it's helpful to see not just the top floor, but what's going on the first floor too, because egress is connected from the second floor.
Where's that, we're making a large detail, only a car store.
Okay, you can just show them the revised plans, so we can.
that on a large plan there, right?
But that's, but you're showing additional doors on that plan in this plan, so.
Just to show the whole first floor.
That's it, Mayor, thank you.
Alright, so if you can coordinate.
Yes,
with
we're certainly
Steve,
working on it.
Steve will make sure the professionals, and then come back when everything's done. So we have a clear picture, especially the parking. And we'll go from there.
Well, it may not be a slam dunk, we want you to prove to us it's a slam dunk.
Okay?
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Two apartments would be more of a slam dunk. 2 apartments would be more of a slam dunk.
Alright. Thank you. Okay, item B, Victor Court of Freehold LLC, 2, 4, and 6 Broad Street, 26 Broad Street, lot 46, lot 5.01, 6.017, and 9.01, zone B1 downtown APC and Trail Center 4. Again, I asked Mr. Cosgrove to set it up.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, I'm one of the property owners of this site, under contract to sell to this developer, so I'm gonna recuse myself, please.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, this is a second redevelopment, an application before the mayor and council sitting as the redevelopment entity. This is a project constructing 19 residential units located broad and Fourth Street. Once again, council or the applicant will present testimony and plans as to what is proposed for the site, and the borough engineer and the borough planner have both submitted comprehensive reports and are here tonight to provide answers and assistance with any questions, and also to assist with questions of the applicant. For the record, there was some asked for some clarification. This is not an eminent domain project. It's not a borough-owned project, but it's a project by an applicant for the borough mayor and council sitting as the redevelopment.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Oh, back. Good evening. So we're here, I'm here on behalf of Victory Court at Freehold LLC. I have my whole team here tonight to discuss this proposal, which is for residential units. So I don't know if we want to open up to questions first, and then we can have our individuals come up and answer those accordingly, or how would you like to handle it?
Maybe just run through the project first, and just what we're trying to accomplish, and we'll bring everybody up one at a time. And council can swear each one in.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that your testimony this evening will be truthful?
Yes, sir. Please say your name.
Robert Adinolfi.
And Robert, you are, how are you involved in this project?
Thank you.
I serve as the Chief Operating Officer of Renaissance Properties up in Old Bridge, New Jersey. We're local developers. We've been in business about 35 years. We've constructed over 1,200 new homes, built nearly 1 million feet of commercial space. We currently have a portfolio of commercial properties. We're very familiar with the area. We're local. And we got involved with this property probably roughly a year ago. And have been working with your professional staff to try to come up with a plan that amends the previous redevelopment plan that was approved on this property probably about 5 or 6 years ago. What you're seeing is generally a little bit different product, lower density, 3 stories. There are 19 units proposed. 15 of those units are market units. There would be 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. 4 of the units are affordable units. Those are 2 2-bedrooms and 2 3-bedrooms. I believe by math, 3.8 were required and we were delivered for affordable, they recommend. So we've brought with us tonight our team. We have an architect here from our tech firm, some collaborators with us. We have Mike Marinelli, our civil engineer from Menlo Engineering. Bob McDade, our CEO and president, is here as well. And we're happy to answer any questions you may have. We're excited to get people to buy into Freehold Borough and into a nice walkable community. Great.
Sure. Really appreciate coming with the visuals of the rendering. It looks really nice. I think that there were some finer points that were brought up by our engineers in their reports. And I think maybe it's best that we, because it's a bigger project, it's a bigger redevelopment project, maybe best to leave off with them, because that might answer a lot of questions that we might have. And then whatever comes up afterwards, we can discuss.
Sure. Mark, you want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
So the application is conforming. It is permitted to be a 19-unit. It is delineated that it has to be 15 market rate and 4 affordable. The market rate units are standard townhomes, while the affordable will be stacked townhomes. Each affordable stack will consist of 1 2-bedroom and 1 3-bedroom. And they're provided tandem parking. Each affordable unit is provided two parking stalls tandem, so like a driveway. So these are permitted. They are asking for deviations. Deviations will also be reviewed by the land use board. So a deviation is essentially a bulk variance. When we're dealing with redevelopment, we call them deviations. I can't give you a better reason. Some of the ones that we had called out particularly were the driveway associated with lot number 8. It has a very small setback to the intersection with the roadway. We weren't sure how the applicant was proposing to mitigate that short distance from Court Street. Additional concerns, parking is always a concern with Borough. Each market rate unit has a 2-car garage and a 2-car driveway. However, the driveway is mentioned only 17 feet wide. A standard parking stall is 9 feet wide, so it is unclear how 4 cars would properly first access the garage and park in the driveway. RESIS does request that the visitor parking, which is 0.5 spaces per unit, not be on the property, be in a centered location. In this instance, they would be relying on guests being able to park in their driveway. So the driveway width is a question that we would ask the applicant also to clarify. So those were 2 of our more technical with regards to circulation on site. I'm sure Trevor will have more comments regarding site triangles. With respect to the units themselves, we did permit, the redevelopment plan does permit bay windows, which we thought was a nice addition that could intrude into the setback. And a lot of the architectural standards were something that was really discussed within the borough, and they will have to go before the historic commission to have siding, window types, trim, etc. reviewed and approved. Were there any specific questions?
I noted in your report that there was also concern about the depth of the garage stalls.
So the depth of the garage stalls, I believe, is a question regarding the affordables. How long those driveways, how long are those stacked driveways?
The trash, the receptacles.
The trash receptacles in the garages themselves, yes, whether they actually permit a 9x18 space. And the trash receptacles for the affordable units are proposed along the side of the units, as opposed to within the garages, since there would not be sufficient space inside. And that was something that we had discussed with the developer.
Trevor, you wanna?
Sure. Barbara went over the number of units. As far as the parking, we indicated appears a deviation required for the proposed number of parking spaces. If you guys can just provide some testimony on parking and how that's set up, that would be helpful to review that. As far as the trash and recycling, it appears that there's units on each property outside the affordable units for pickup, and then imagine that the market rate units are going to be stored on property, most likely in the garage. And just wanted to see a truck circulation pattern, be something the planning board can look at, but how's a garbage truck going to get in there and pick up those trash cans? The deviations that we spoke about were some of the setback requirements to the units. Also took a look at the site triangle. I know there's a site triangle from the driveway proposed. I'm also concerned about the site triangle at Broad Street and Court Street. This looks like there's a bay window that protrudes into the front yard of Court Street. It's like right on the property line. So I took a ride out there before the meeting tonight, something that wasn't in our report, but just something to take a look at from planning boards. How does that site triangle work from Broad Street looking east on Court Street? Some of the deviations for the setbacks, minimum front yard setback, 3 feet is required, 2 feet is proposed to Court Street for unit 8. Minimum setback to lot 8, 5 feet is required, 2.9 feet is proposed to the trash bin, and 0.25 feet to the fence. The maximum building height for the proposed buildings 1, 2, and 4 required is 42 feet to the midpoint of the sloped roof, or 35 feet to the roof deck for a flat roof. Proposed is 35.9 feet for building 1, 35.9 feet for building 2, and 36.7 feet for building 4. So it's anywhere from a 0.9 feet to a 1.7 foot deviation. Refuse collection facilities located outside of the proposed structures are prohibited. I believe those are for units 14, 15, 16, and 17, which are the affordable units. Driveway dimension, as Barbara indicated, 20 by 20 foot is required. The proposed is 20 foot by 17 foot with 3 foot wide paver islands. There's just a little bit of testimony as to why the 3 feet is proposed as opposed to 2 feet, which would get you 9 foot wide driveway width to meet RSIS. And then lastly, the off-street parking prohibited within 10 feet of the right of way, where proposed is 5 feet at the unity driveway. As far as some of our technical comments, obviously, have a proposed residential development and architectural design of the proposed buildings will comply with the general provisions of the development plan. The access to the site, the proposed plan proposes 22-foot two-way drive aisles, which complies. The unit driveways are required to be 20 foot in length. As far as the fire official, obviously it's going to have to go to the fire official to get their comments on access to the units. The applicant should provide testimony regarding the location and screening of HVAC, mechanical, and other utility structures. One thing I did not see on there, I don't know if he's going to be serviced by overhead utilities or the JCP&L is going to be putting in ground mounted transformers. Probably not something you guys looked into yet, but if you do, that'd be great to know. And then if we do need to have pad mounted transformers in, where would those be proposed on the property? don't think they're shown on the plan. Drainage, I know you're proposing to connect into the adjacent drainage system next door. Could you provide a little bit of testimony on the intent for that storm sewer easement? A couple things on the utilities. It looks like the water and sanitary are proposed to run inside the building underneath the garages. One of our comments, and this is something that we reviewed by the water and sewer engineer at the time, we recommend that individual laterals be placed in the driveways so that each unit is connected to a lateral outside of the building, just in case there is an issue with one of the units. It can be cleaned out from the outside rather than from the utility chase inside the building. As far as the architectural plans, they do show dens on the first floor of the market rate units where dens are prohibited within the redevelopment plan. And the monument sign, I know there is one shown there. If you could just provide a little bit of testimony on the monument size, that would be great. And I believe that was everything from our report. Happy to answer any questions that the applicant addresses other questions.
Sure. So I'm having this sort of date come up and just try to touch on as many of the points as possible. Again, we have our professionals here as well to supplement his testimony.
You raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that your testimony will be truthful?
I do.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bobby Dave. I'm president of Renaissance Property. I thought it may be easier if I just kind of address one-on-one the engineer and the planner's comments versus professionals coming up back with. Most of the items in the reports we can comply with. There are a couple of small variances or things we may need, such as in the garage, the 9 by 18 parking spaces, we can address that. The width of the driveway is 17 feet, we could go to 18 and have 2 feet for the pavement. It's not really make a difference to us. The driveway on unit 8, we'll look at that again. I thought we moved that back 5 feet, which is what we talked about doing, but
I think we had, discussed limiting it to a one-car driveway to introduce the setback, but you wanted to take another look at it.
yeah, well, we can still fit 2 cars, it's just maybe narrower. We'll look at it eventually. Let me just go through the engineer's list and see if I can remember, because there are a lot of things that are going on. The parking, I'm going to defer to. Thank you, okay. I'll defer to Mike, our engineer for the parking. Okay, trash, we'll be taking away. They'll be picking up the trash. We'll look at, we'll talk to our providers. We have this in multiple locations where they pull in and back out. We'll make sure that works. Site drainage easements, we will look at the intersection where the bay window is. The building height, Nicole, our architect, correct me if my architectural expertise isn't accurate, but I believe the height of the building is 35 feet. I'm not sure if that's measured from the finished floor elevation or grade. But the cornices can exceed, an architectural element can exceed the 35 feet. So, using round numbers, our cornices may be at 37 or 38 feet, which is permitted. Since we have a flat roof, we're 1 foot over the 35, or 1.5 foot plus or minus. You'll never know that the roof is higher than the 35 feet because the cornice is 2 feet higher than that. There are no roof mounted units, no HVAC on the roof, so no one will ever see the roof. There's nothing up there. So that would be a waiver that we would ask for architecture. We did that to try to accomplish a lot of the lack of better definition, gingerbread, all on the front elevation.
If you're not having roof-mounted equipment, where are you putting your condensers?
Condensers are going between the garage doors up against the building. They're all located on the plan. We have a site plan.
You know,
not mounted directly behind the garages, which are covered by a 10 by 20 foot deck that the unit has. And the ones that are not in that location, with attic and screen, that are not visible to Fort Worth Street.
So they're all interior, facing the interior drive, most of them?
Yes, yes.
How,
Like,
oh, are they?
They're 3 feet, so hence the 3 feet.
So,
But we did narrow where the driveway is, and
but that would still limit how you get into the garage, would it not?
no, because the unit's 20 feet wide, the garage door is 16, I believe. So we have the space. This is difficult in almost every townhouse community you see built, where the garage is located in the back, you'll see the AC condenser sitting either on a bed or elevated based on flood elevation, on the back. We can't screen them because you need to have adequate airflow around them, but no one can see them but the person who lives in the unit. So, I think it works, but we'll look at it. We'll look into the transformers for power. I'm gonna let our engineer, I guess, address the sewer water service. We'd like to keep it the way it is. It's an HOA. We will take care of this problem with a lateral versus running separate laterals between us, all 19 units. That's one thing that we would like to request. Trash driveways. What do we miss? Let's see. Fire, we have to go to fire, which is still. We'll call that room, a rec room, exercise room, home office. It's not a den. There's no closets, there's no doors.
It's open to the staircase.
It's open to the staircase, and it's open from the garage through to the front door. So it's not a closed-in room where someone could call it a bedroom or a den.
there are closets, so.
Excuse me?
There are closets.
There's a coat closet
Yeah.
in the hall, yes, at the entrance door.
Personally, be ashamed if one of them has to go because of sightline triangles, or maybe it's just angle has to be changed or something like that, but I think that's a nice view to see when you're coming towards town, on Court Street. I appreciate the layout of the spaces. They seem nice and open, which is a nice thing. I like the fact that the second floor is basically common living space, and then your upper floor is your private bedrooms.
It's all wide open.
Yeah, it's a nice front to back sort of thing. Still a little bit confused about how you're gonna make the driveways wider if the air conditioning units require 3 feet, because technically speaking, with air conditioning units, we can't make them wider, but I'll leave you to figure out the math on that one.
I have to tell you, I live in a townhouse in Tinton Falls.
Yeah.
Garage, I have 2 garage doors, my driveway is 17 feet.
Yeah.
I park a big truck and a car and drive it every day, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
It's your car, it's not like it's my car, and then Dante who can't drive next to me, come right, so it's a little different than a shopping center or office building.
Right, except for the affordable units, because then you've got.
There's that.
Yeah, right, so, but you have your neighbors parking next to you.
Those we may be able to, easily get them anyway.
Yeah. And the AC units are bollard protected, that what I saw on the site plan?
No,
Not the AC?
no.
Where are the bollards being?
I don't think they're bollards.
There's a detail of bollards in the civil engineering package.
Maybe like those.
On sheet 12 of the civil engineering package, it's a bollard light. And I don't know if that meant.
Bollard light.
Yeah.
Probably, that's the walkway, that's the walkway in front of the building too, with the fence that we're talking about, that we wanted to have that lit up and, make it like a really nice pedestrian walkway to the front door, so they have some foundation planting in front of their unit, a sidewalk.
So it's not a security bollard, it's a decorative.
No, your decorative bollard, the lights illuminated, just low, so it's not going into the windows.
From your experience, does there need to be something sort of protected in front of the AC units? I know like a development in Mountain Post Corner, they have a simple bollard in front of the between the driveway, but there's a gas meter there. The bollards fit the gas meter.
You know, we have a lot of shopping centers, and I
Yeah.
can tell you, they hit the bollards just as hard.
And if they have their own AC meter, AC condenser, then that's on them, I guess.
Yeah, they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And then the bollards get a little unsightly, you
Yeah.
line the bollards up, pull it down, then you have painful yellow,
Yeah.
you know, reflective tape on them, and plus it's unsightly.
I would like, you know, I look at the plans, but I'm not an architect or anything. I would like to see more trees around the property. And I believe in the notes it said there were some on Broad, but not really any on Court. So I would definitely like to see, trees, because we lost a lot of trees. And, you know, I'd like to see them added wherever we can. And then the other thing was, while the you know, the look is really pretty, I don't know, you know, some of the other developments are taking what's being torn down and using pieces of that as part of the street facing look. So I don't know if that's something that's possible.
I'm not sure I follow you on that.
Like if you're taking down a house or whatever, maybe there's a piece of that house that can be incorporated into the look. It's just something.
Unfortunately, all those houses have vinyl siding, and it's been
okay.
drilled into my head a couple of times.
No vinyl siding. No vinyl siding.
I got it. Get rid of all the vinyl siding. But with the trees, as many as we could plant, we'll plant. You know, sometimes what happens is you end up planting too many, or they're not spaced properly, and then 5 years later, we're cutting them all down, and then there's nothing there.
I think yeah, no,
You know, so you gotta find the right balance.
You would have to work with our arborist to
I
get
think there's also
recommendations.
a comment just about street trees.
Yes.
Another place every, 30 to 40
Yeah.
feet, just to add that.
Yeah, we have an arborist and a shade tree, and we would work with them to determine the correct trees and how to plant them.
No problem.
Anybody else?
I do. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
And I applaud you and your team for the look. I'm just curious, is there a central place to get your mail, or is everybody gets their mail individually?
No, there is. There's a common box that would be behind lot 8, the house that's not part of ours, or for driveway. And I think it's shown on.
It's on the issue.
Yeah, on TV one, it's called out.
Adam has a trained eye, so I have to.
And there was a comment in the one about benches, so we're gonna have a bench next to that, so they can look at the bills.
And as a fireman, on the Court Street parking lot side, that fencing is going to be replaced?
To back up to the municipal lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could we possibly, maybe, and of course, I'm not a fire inspector, but I am a fireman, have some kind of gate in case they need to access that area, or they don't get stuck in that section here.
Yeah.
You know, you get a truck that comes in here and now they can't turn around.
Yeah.
They could access through there, maybe some kind of
We just have to
fencing.
look at the elevations. We'll look at the grade and see if it works, then we can put it.
But there might be cars there. What I'm trying to say is, I don't want to get rid of spots there, but it might be for a while for the emergency purposes, to maybe block that off for that access to be available, because you're not gonna back a truck out there. Once they get into that runs perpendicular to the entrance in there, you're not gonna get a truck back out.
I just want to say thank you for working with our professionals. I've been sitting on the development committee now for a couple of years, and you've been phenomenal. You know, every time we've had something, they brought it back to you guys, you've worked with them, and this looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I just want to say this is a great project. I've been looking forward to this day for quite a while now, and again, appreciate working with everybody and HPC, and I think it's going to sell out like that. But
We're excited to get started right away.
it's going to extension of downtown on Court Street. It's gonna be a great look at that, and a very successful project, so I also want to thank you. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I've been waiting for this, so. Someone like to make a motion, we move this, send this to?
I will make that.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Scratch that one.
Scratch. Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, great, this is approved, we're gonna send this to, land use, and HBC, and wherever else.
Good.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no comment from the public, I move the public portion be closed.
Second.
Councilperson De Benedetto? Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
All right, public comment section is closed. We're gonna go to, item 18, council reports and comments. Start off with Councilmember Schutzer.
I yield.
Okay, Councilmember De Benedetto.
Yes, thank you all for coming. It's been exciting night, long night, long day. I would like to thank the police department for the outstanding call that they had to do, that they did today. It's not why they do it, it's what they do with it. They raise a lot of money to go back into the community, and I saw kids that got off the midnight shift work. I saw guys like this gentleman over here, out all day, working the alley, and he's here tonight. And you guys do it from your heart today. It was well done. Thank you for all you guys do, and girls, thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. Let's go back to Council President Freeman.
Thank you all for coming out tonight, and I've got no comments tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Jordan.
I'll be quick. Recreation will be holding a free real fun fishing day at Lake Tocophenis on June 7th, which is the same day as Juneteenth downtown. But the instruction will be over by 11 a.m. All information is online. You can go on there and sign up. And we're doing that in conjunction with the Freehold Police Department, as well as We Are the Future and the Mayor's Wellness Committee. That should be a lot of fun. PB is open for submissions. You go online and present anything you'd like to see done this year. On Trail Day, August 1, and we already talked about fireworks. And just a note, bike safety. There's a lot going on Facebook right now from our department, police department, as well as our Mayor's Wellness, about upcoming changes in the law about e-bike safety and the use of e-bikes within the community. So please look for that information, seek it out, because we will start enforcing the law. So,
Thank you. Councilmember Rogers.
Thank you. Just looking for my notes. But just to be real quick, I wanted to thank everyone who came out for our Unity Walk. It was a small group, but we walked together, and that was the purpose. We got to know some new people, got to talk about some of the businesses coming to town. We had our police escort, thank you for that. And hopefully we can figure out ways to bring more people out, because the purpose is to get to know your neighbors and be able to sit down and have a conversation. This weekend, I went to an event at Brookdale. It was a power summit, and was really teaching people about the need to vote in the different levels of government, so that was really interesting. The school last week had multicultural night, and it was really nice. We got to see some of the students dancing. We got to taste different foods from different cultures, and then some of the students did boards and So it was really interesting. It was nice to see so many people out enjoying that. I already talked about the tree planting, a donation from Columbia Bank, and I just wanted to offer congratulations again to all our armories tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Resch.
Thank you. The Freel Borough Memorial Day Parade Committee is hosting Father Alphonse and the Orchestra by the Sea at a concert, excuse me, at the First Presbyterian Church on Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale either from in person from the committee members or graciously through downtown Freehold. We are coordinating to have a shuttle bus service that's going to run from Lafayette Street to the church and from the Park Avenue lot to the church, both before and after. So we'll go downtown, have dinner, and then come join us for a concert. Tickets are $45 each. If you purchase on downtown Freehold, there's a slight credit card fee associated with that. The second Veterans Recognition Ceremony will be held on Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, May 23rd. It starts at 9 a.m. At every 45 minutes, we will be honoring a deceased veteran, starting with Andrew Zarnowski on Garden Broad, William Conover Jr. on South and Union, Joseph Rufalowski on thank you. And those that messed that one up. On 3rd and Liberty, James Sweetman on East Main and Bennett, Albert Piscineri. Did I get that one? Okay. On Fulton and Broadway, and Charles Makovich Jr. on Bound and Stokes. So if you're available, please join us starting at Yard and Broad on Saturday 23rd at 9 a.m. I'm also like to express my thanks to our DPW for the brush cleanup services that are going on. Having the town divided into 4 quadrants, I think has made it much clearer as to when residents can put out brush and when it's going to be picked up. And I appreciate the fact that it kicked my butt to have to get all our backyard cleaned up because my area was the first week, so we had to make sure we got it done and out. And I just want to extend congratulations to Councilwoman Rogers, who is being honored at the Monmouth County Diversity Alliance's Black and Red on the Green Gala in June. I'm looking forward to celebrating with her as well. Other than that, thank you for joining us tonight, and hopefully we'll have some more weather on its way.
Okay, thank you. Just real quick, congrats to everybody. Item 13 this evening is the introduction of our 2026 municipal budget. We thank our CFO, Christopher Clinton, putting together a great budget for us this year. Also, too, on Sunday, United Way Food Truck Festival from 12 to 4 this Sunday coming up. So come on out, support that. That's it. Congrats to everybody. Item 19 is a resolution authorizing a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provision of New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-12B4 for negotiations. Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to go into private session.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Stetser?
Yes.
Okay, we are going into executive session to talk about negotiations. We will come back out